some of the things that helped me in my beginning, you know, as an entrepreneur, my journey into that. So I came from a very like scarcity driven mindset. We were poor. We didn't have money when we were growing up in just north of LA. So like everything was like fear based. So two things occur when you kind of have that upbringing. One, you naturally put more stuff on your plate if you're trying to get out because you don't believe in outsourcing or that anyone's going to come save you, which is a good, healthy side of it. The second thing that builds is the ability to put more stuff on your plate and to handle more stress and to handle more of it. It's actually something that I believe in for my companies is, hey, give the busiest person in the room more work to do because it's going to force them not only to get it done, but they're going to have to think differently. So you're actually helping them grow by stressing them the fuck out. And I mean that by stress creates diamonds, pressure creates diamonds, or they'll snowflake out. So when I retired from marketing, when I was at Cardon's agency, I had so much shit on my plate. Yeah. But when I revisited that type of growth in my life and what I needed to change, I needed to build leverage, needed to build digital leverage, needed to build SOPs, processes, documents, overview videos, et cetera, to get everything out of my head onto paper so I can delegate it, train it, et cetera, and hold people to a standard of what I know success looks like in my relative, few years of doing all this. So the books that helped me, like I was mentioning, was that stuff. I had to reprogram myself by reading As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. As you think, so you become. It's basically the premise of the book, but it's more of a philosophical approach. Second one was Beyond Positive Thinking by Dr. Robert B. Anthony. I think it's a book that every entrepreneur should read, regardless of, if you think you have a positive mindset or not. A lot of books in the positive mindset kind of stuff are rah-rah. They're like, just manifest, believe, da-da-da. This is very tactical. And for logical entrepreneurs, people that are data-driven, it's like, no, I get it. Help me actually execute on that. Don't just tell me to manifest and that it's going to come from the ether of whatever. Like I can't rely on that. I got to build that skill set myself. So the same thing with every 15 minutes, it's a discipline, just like the gym, just like your health, et cetera. But I will say that one thing that helped me was I hired a performance coach. And that performance coach is simply an accountability coach for, CEOs and founders. He's the top, person in our space. He worked with Ty Lopez, Sam Ovens, all the top guys. So I was like, all right, if it worked for them and they experienced it at a level that I haven't yet, let me see what he's got. And one of the best things I got out of it, I'll never forget it, is that the fastest way to make a Ferrari go faster is just to take whatever's out of the frunk, reduce the weight, reduce the cognitive load. So we actually scheduled every Friday thinking time, cleared the entire day, and just let that be thinking. In the beginning, it was freaking weird. Yeah. Because my mind races, and I'm sure yours does as well as an entrepreneur, of what tactical things need to be done. But then when you can visualize and see what the stimulus is and where that came from, you can start identifying patterns. And it's a self-exercise because every business is different. But if you can identify the patterns that your thinking is having and either turn those patterns off or change the way you were thinking about them, that starts to build that neuroplasticity to not be so rigid and fixated in how you're currently viewing your problems. So that for me gave me the space to then also look inward as to what was really occurring. I didn't really believe in energy chakras. I didn't believe in any of that kind of stuff. I didn't go down that route until later. But I first had to see, like, where is this energy coming from? Where is this thought coming from? Is it a actual rooted issue? Is it my ego saying a team member's not doing something right? If that's the case, did I give them the right training? You have to actually analyze and question every thought that you have about how you're doing things in order to actually identify where you're currently at. And that gives you the perspective. Then you can go seek out the new mentorship or the new coaching program or the course that you need to buy or the education that you need to obtain through books, et cetera. I mean, I have like 250 something books. I have a library at home, kind of like the studio is just filled with books and stuff. And it's really, really cool to look at how people think about things, how they analyze their energy, and then what book or what knowledge gives them the leverage to maximize that.
I think something that's really, really important is just thinking. And I like the idea of kind of taking time out to think. I read the book Deep Work, which is, I don't know if you read it, but the guy, I can't remember his name, I don't want to say the wrong name, but a big advocate of kind of just taking time away to conduct deep work, like you in a room with a pad and paper for a week, just actually kind of thinking and working. So I think maybe I need to revisit that as well. But I'm glad, based on the things that you've said, or glad to hear the things you've said, because I feel as though I'm working or I'm on the way to doing the right things and maybe being more analytical. and truly thinking about what I'm doing and why. I think I just need to make more time to do that, and maybe also conduct myself in a bit of a better way based on the books.
Well, the beautiful part of that is that you can self-identify into understanding that journey. A lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot more depth to entrepreneurs than people actually give them credit for. They'll ask them kind of bullshit questions like, what was the one thing that you did that changed your life? Like that kind of shit. And that's a surface level question, and you're not asking those, which is great. But what I'm saying is entrepreneurs can then identify through other entrepreneurs what things that they need to change or grow through, et cetera, by simply understanding what questions to ask. And the quality of your questions is going to determine the quality of your answers, which determines the quality of your results. So if you don't ask good questions to either try and gain perspective, or if you don't ask good questions to try and solve a problem, if it is tactical, then you're not going to get the answer. So it does start with that inner working, the feeling of how that question came up. What's the question? So it's actually a very high ROI task, kind of like content.
Yeah.
Content is a high ROI task, even though sometimes if you love content, you're like, you feel like you're just fucking around a little bit, but you're not.